In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to create your puzzle cube drawings, and the final step is to document all of your designs. So from here, I'm going to click under File, New Drawing from Design, and under the template, we're going to choose IED Title Block B, which is what you should have downloaded from a previous video. Check Canvas Resources if you still need to download the Title Block B file. Go ahead and say OK, and that's going to load us into the drawing workspace. From here, we're going to create, the very first drawing we'll create is called an assembly drawing. So the very first thing that it'll let you do is to place your puzzle cube assembly on the drawing. So I'm going to hit the drop down and I'm going to choose the northeast isometric. I'm going to set the scale to a 1:1, and I want to shade this isometric view, and I'm going to place it right here on the drawing. So this view will be placed. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place another view by clicking on Base View. At this time, I'm going to choose under Representation, I want to choose Storyboard 1, which is going to be our exploded view here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have the home view be represented, shaded, and we're going to try a 1:1 scale. 1:1 fits well for me on the page. If you need to, for example, it may be better for you to try a 3/4 scale to go through, but we're going to have the exploded view represented right up here toward the top. And I'm going to click, and I'm going to say OK. Now there are a couple other things we're going to put onto this assembly drawing. One will be under Tables, and we're going to choose Table. And under Tables, we're going to choose the Parts List. So Parts List, and I can just choose the exploded view, and it asks me where do I want to place the parts list. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place it right down here in the very bottom corner right above my components. So here's the one thing that I can go through and take a look at. Is here are all my puzzle cube parts. One big issue that I already see is that this is made out of steel. Okay, now I'm going to have to probably go back and I'm going to show you in another video on how to go through and edit these. And we will go through and make some changes to update into our design files. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on the parts list. Now I'm going to go ahead and change table direction going up. I'm going to go down. So that way it looks like this. Parts list goes down, table direction. And I'm going to uncheck the description. And then that way I don't have that showing. But I need item, quantity, part number, and the material being represented. And so I'm going to go ahead and choose close. And that's going to give us our parts list. The other thing we have here are called balloons. Now the balloons all showed up automatically, but sometimes some of these wind up in the border. So I'm going to go ahead and drag these down. I always want the balloons to never be crossing, and I want to make sure that the arrowheads point right to the edge of the part. So for example, if this is our balloon that our arrow looks like this, that's crossing right into the object, which we don't want. So I want to go through and go ahead and change this. I'm going to drag the little gray box and click right there on the edge of the part. Most of these work out pretty well, but sometimes you may need to go through and change some of them. So typically I'm going to try to stay off the corners if I can. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drag these here, and this one may be better suited. Maybe I look at putting it right there. There we go. And I can kind of rearrange these just a little bit more to make them look a little bit more fitting. Okay, so this is what we're going to do here. Again, I'm going to go through in the next video, show you how to create the different materials. So the last thing we'll do here is I'm going to use the text tool, draw a box right here underneath our assembled cube, and I'm going to go through and put in there in all capital letters, assembled puzzle cube. So your drawing should have all capital letters, and I'm going to put scale 1:1. And then I'm going to go ahead and highlight all the text, and in my dialog I'm going to change this to a 0.24 inch, bold and centered, and I'm going to say close, and I want it to look just like what it looks like here. Assembled puzzle cube should all be on one line. If I need to adjust it, the arrow on the box will help, and then the scale should be below. But that's going to be what our assembly drawing will look like for this project. In the next video, I am going to go through and show you how to change a part and then how to update it in the drawing, and that's the purpose of why we're going to go through and make these changes.